Madam President, I have the honor of speaking on behalf of St. Kitts and Nevis. We align ourselves with the statements delivered by the respective chairs of Barbados, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. Madam President, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis wishes to commend you on your leadership and exemplary manner in which you have steered this process to date. We appreciate the timely manner in which the draft text was released. This has been helpful in our effort to achieve meaningful debate on the subject matter. We thank the Secretariat and fellow delegates for their continued efforts throughout the deliberations. After careful review of the draft language, we can assure you the commitment of St. Kitts and Nevis in this continuous process to ensure we have a satisfactory treaty by the 2020 deadline. Madam President, I would like to speak about the responsibility of states as stewards of the global marine environment. As an island nation, we are particularly concerned about the threats the global marine environment faces from pollution, resource exploitation, and climate change. Principle 21 of the 1972 Stockholm Declaration provides that states have, in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations and principles of international law, the sovereign right to exploit their own resources pursuant to their own environmental policies, and the responsibility to ensure that activities within their jurisdiction or control do not cause damage to the environment of other states or areas beyond the limits of national jurisdiction. A similar provision is included in the Rio Declaration. We have read the current draft text of the BBNJ Treaty. We have identified several principles that may be interpreted to address the responsibility of states as a steward of the global marine environment. Article 2 articulates that the objective of the BBNJ Treaty is to ensure the long-term conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction. This objective would ensure all aspects of the treaty work towards protecting the global marine environment. Article 5 would require parties to adopt approaches that do not transfer damage or hazards from one area to another, or transform one form of pollution into another. Article 5 also introduces the concept of the polluter pays principle. This would protect a state's sovereignty while ensuring no other state loses its ability to utilize its resources due to the actions of another state. Holding states and various polluters accountable would ensure that areas beyond national jurisdiction get needed protection. Additionally, Article 22 requires parties to conduct environmental impact assessments to assess the potential effects of activities under their jurisdiction on the marine environment. Article 29 proposes that the BBNJ develop a non-exhaustive list of activities that would or would not require an environmental impact assessment. Article 30 would put the onus on the party to determine whether an environmental impact assessment is required or not. This article would be stronger if it had a list of requirements for doing an assessment, instead of leaving it to the party to determine. If the list in Article 29 is expanded, it will ensure assessments are done as needed. Most importantly, Article 33 would require parties to establish procedures for the prevention, mitigation, and management of potential adverse effects of authorized activities under their jurisdiction. Article 39 would require parties to continuously monitor the effects of these authorized activities to ensure that the environmental impacts of the activities are monitored in accordance with the conditions set out in the approval of the activity. Madam President, this monitoring is crucial because it would measure the effectiveness of this treaty at preventing environmental degradation in areas beyond national jurisdiction. Madam President, although these articles may be interpreted to require countries to be stewards of the environment, we also believe that these provisions are open to different interpretations. Accordingly, we strongly recommend that the provision specifically requiring parties to be stewards of the marine environment is included. Such an article would read as follows. States have the responsibility to ensure that activities within their jurisdiction and control do not cause damage to the environment of areas beyond the limits of national jurisdiction. The inclusion of such an article in this treaty would bolster the role that states have as stewards of the global marine environment. We feel this would be beneficial if added to the objectives under Article 2 of the treaty. Such inclusion would ensure that states approach the global marine ecosystem with care. Madam President, St. Kitts and Nevis maintain our commitment to completing our work so that we can adopt a treaty in 2020. We look forward to meaningful negotiations that will address our aspirations and ensure the treaty that prioritizes the protection of the global marine environment. Most importantly, we remain committed to working with you, the Secretariat, and all delegations to ensure continued progress towards achieving this common goal. I thank you.